Okay, week 8. So we got today or this week. Next week we don't meet. So if you show up, I won't be here. Spring break. Then we'll come back the following week. So what I did with the assignments, I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's see here. Which one do I want? I'll share that one for now. So special due date. So this week's assignments will be due. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know if I'd make it due next week would be better, or then you wouldn't have anything. But I just figured to give you the week off, I'm going to do this. So you make your own decision on when you want to do this. They'll be due the 25th, the assignments in here. So that gives you 2 weeks to do them. So you figure it out. You can do them prior to the break, during the break, after the break. At least you'll get your fair amount of time. Got a few videos for you to watch and 3 programs. I'm gonna go over the first 2 tonight or this afternoon, so you won't have that. Those will probably, you'll almost probably have those done. So this will just leave you this bigger one to do. So that's kind of a gift also. Okay, any questions over the due date or anything like that? No, Doug. Okay. So if there's no questions with that, tonight we're going to talk about, and what I'd like you to do is kind of keep notes. And by that, I mean, my plan here will be to, that isn't what I wanted. Go away. Will be to do this. Hang on. And then I'll share again. And then I'll find, where is it? Geez, I don't even see it. Okay, hang on a minute. Go. Now I should be able to do it. Okay. Screen. Blah, 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 blah. There it is. And get rid of this thing. Stuff drives me nuts. And then, so you should be seeing Thorny right now. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Okay. Okay. So tonight I'm going to introduce lists, and the chapter is about lists and tuples. The basic difference is that lists you can change, and tuples you can't change. They use the term mutable and immutable. Mutable means it can change. Immutable, again, geek terms for you can change or it can't change. So we're going to go ahead tonight and cover lists, but I'm just warning you the chapter in the book is about both those. So this first thing we're going to do together is just kind of get an idea of what they are. Okay, so let's just call this thing, I'm going to save this as something like desktop about list intro, something to that effect. And then what we'll do is we'll just start introducing this stuff. So the first thing we said that lists are mutable. And tuples are immutable. Okay. So let's go ahead and create a list. So we want to create a list with 4 items in it. And it's pretty amazing what Python has done as far as making these easy to use. So I'm going to just say my friends are equal to Mary, and John, Kate, and Rob. And if you've done arrays before in other languages, very similar, okay? Or if you've done lists in other languages, basically. Okay. So now what I could do is, if I wanted to, I could say print my friends. And we're going to run this as we go. See if it works. Okay, you got to click the button down. And you can see down here, I get a list of running my program. Okay. So that's cool. Why is that doing this? I always got something going on. It's weird. All right. So if I got that, then what I can do, I can also do this. All right. What did I do wrong? Oh, I put a comma in there. Yeah. So you can see there it printed my list, and here it printed out John because my list starts at 0. Don't forget that. Okay, so Mary's in the 0 position. John is in the 1st position, actually. Okay. I can create an empty list with nothing in it. Something like that. So that's an empty list. I don't have to put anything in it at this point. A cool thing is that we can create So I can create a list that contains different data types. For in other words, I could say I've got a list that is somebody's name here. And let's say they make $25.50 an hour and they're married or a veteran or something like that. So then if I want, I can print out the whole thing. See there, which is pretty cool. Or I can print out any part of it that I want. So I can do the employees. And then again, I'll do the one here. And that should print out their wages, $25.50 an hour or whatever, out of that list. Okay, so not bad. I can create this is simple as this. I just put in numbers. It's equal to a list. So again, these are all tools that you can put in your toolbox. And you can see here's my 5 numbers. Add right here. So as easy as that, you can create a list of numbers if you need them for something. I want to put in some prints here to split this up, or we'll just run it all out at some point, up to the point where we're at. So that'll put an extra space there, an extra space here, an extra space here. Oops, my one type print. All right. I can go through and iterate through lists. By that I mean I can iterate list. So I'll say for my peeps in my friends, peeps. Run that one. You can see right here, there's everybody in my, instead of printing them in the brackets and everything like that, as like a list, here I just print them out like they're, like if I was going to do output with them. So There's another tool. We can easily determine the items in a list item count of a list. So it's no, you just do print length my friends and you can see here I have 4 friends. And of course you could incorporate that into, it's as easy as you just put it in a print statement and just do here. I can format this too. Using the format. So by using length, I can do that. Also, that's nice for putting into a for next loop or for loop. Okay. We can also, we can change a friend. They are mutable. We can do my friends number 2 or index 2 be equal to Tanya. My friends. And you can see that it prints out Tanya. And if we printed out the whole thing, let's see here. See here, Tanya now is in place number 2. Again, 0, 1, 2. So that works. So we can change them. Again, when you get to tuples, you can't change them. Let's see, what was I thinking? Any questions so far? Pretty straightforward, right? I can add to a list. So we can put in my enemies. Remember, it was blank. And beaver. And I can do that. And then I say, oh no, I forgot to put Grace in at the beginning. I'm going to say my enemies insert. And I'll say I want to put it in the 0 position. And what do I want to put in there? I want to put Grace in there. And then I'll print my enemies. And you can see here, we have Grace and then Wally and the beaver. Okay, but Grace, I can put items in specific places. In other words, if I want to replace somebody's account, I can put it where that old account was and get rid of the previous one. And so I can connect, oh geez, I can concatenate 2 strings into one. Or list, I'm sorry, I can concatenate lists together. So I can say something like my big list is equal to my friends plus my enemies. List. Oops. You can see now down here at the end, I have both lists concatenated together. So I have 7 people in there now. I can slice a list. Something like print my big list. And I can hit 0. And let's just go to 3. Something to that effect. So here you can see I get 0, 1, 2, because that's what it'll do. You never get the last. So this one's sliced. So I could start it, if I started at 1, I would get John and Tanya. I put 1 and 3 in there. In other words, if this was a 1, and I run it, you can see I get John and Tanya instead of Mary gets left off in that case. Okay. I can find an item in a list. So I'm going to say, I could either put it as an input or not. and I'm just going to say is found is equal to, let's say Grace. And you can see here that Grace is found in the list. So there, Jerry's not found. But what's weird, they also have Mabel. That I believe. And you can see that Mabel is not found in the list, so it brings up true. So, but that gets kind of confusing. Not found in the list. Unless maybe it's a list of felons or something like that. They type your name and if it comes back that you're not a felon or something, I don't know. And then of course you can put that into like if is found. Like here, let's do it with Grace up here. So what I could do with that, I could say if is found, then and you can see here she was found in the list. Just get rid of that there. So you can do it either one of those ways to find somebody. You guys hanging in there? Somebody say something so I know you're still there. All right. Okay, so now I'm just going to give you a list of some of the other functions. I'll list some that we've already done. So we have append. Okay, so it goes append and then the item, and that adds to the end of a list. We have index and the item, and that returns the first index the item appears in. We have insert, and then it would be index where you want it to go and what the item is. And that one adds item at certain or specified index. Sort sorts in ascending order. We have remove, item, first occurrence. Reverse, items, and we have delete, list. I should have put dots in front of all these instead of, let's do that so you know. So this is a dot, 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 dot. Okay, and then we can say delete list and the index, and that deletes specified index number. And we can also get the minimum list. And of course, if we can get the minimum, we should be able to get the maximum. So there's just some of the additional ones we can do. So trying to use one of those, I'll just try this one. I'll say print my big list again. And then I'll say print. And then I'll print my big list dot index for Wally. Is index index for Wally. Run that. And you can see 5 is the index for Wally. And if you look, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in fact, it is number 5. All right. Okay. So when we copy, okay, the reference, not the values. For example, what I mean by that, let's create this buddies 1 is equal to Mo, I say buddies 2 is equal to buddies 1. Then I print buddies 1, and I print buddies 2. And when I do that, you're going to say, well, that's what it's supposed to do. So now buddies 1 and buddies 2 are equivalent to one another. And you say, well, what's bad about that? Well, it's not really a copy of these items. What we did here is we virtually made buddies 1 and buddies 2 the same thing. They're both pointing to the same area of memory. And I can prove that to you because if I do this, if I say buddies 1 dot append in Shemp, if you don't know, these are the 3 stooges. So there was like 6 of them. And then I print buddies 1. I print buddies 2. Now again, you remember I didn't add anything to buddies 2, but if I run this now, you can see because I changed buddies 1, buddies 2 changes too, because it's not a copy, it's a reference to a point in your memory. If I want to literally copy a list, so to copy items in a list, okay, we would do something like this. Let's do houses 1 is equal to houses 2 is equal to empty. Is 2. See here, here's houses 1. Houses 2 is currently empty. Okay. So then if I go ahead and append houses 1, append Gryffindor, that, and then print them again. Let's see, is that what I want? Oh no, I'm sorry, I don't want to do that yet. Let's do this first. Let's do a for loop. So I'll say for rooms in houses 1, houses 2, and rooms. And then I'll append Gryffindor onto 1. And all right. So you can see now that this is different, right? When we ran them before, when I changed right here, let's see, where was it? What happened to, oh, up here, yeah. So when we did this one, we did Mo, Larry, Curly, and then we said, okay, assign, let's make them the same. So we do buddies 1, we copy it over to buddies 2. Okay, and then it was exactly alike. But then if I added Shempen to number 1, number 2 changes also. Okay. So again, if we run that, you can see here they were originally 1 and 2. And here I changed 1, but 2 changes with it because they're referenced together. They're pointing at the same spot in memory. In this one, it's different. Here is the houses 1. Here's houses 2. Then I copy the items over to houses 2. And then I added Gryffindor to 1. But these 2 are not connected. They're referencing 2 different places in memory, not like the other one, the one up here. Okay. So it's quite a bit different. Okay. So we're going to save that one. Okay. And then let's see, which one did I want to do here? Okay, we'll do this next. All right, so then make a new one. Any questions on this? Again, it's just a basic understanding, giving you some tools that you can use in your programs. Yes, Doug, that sounds like a great idea.
It seems pretty nice so far. I like how it can use like it can add like multiple different data types in the
Yeah,
list.
I mean, if you're familiar with other programming languages, you can't do that until you start creating your own classes. Okay. So that's pretty neat that you can do that, this right here, that it can hold different data types.
Yeah, like in Java, even an array list is dynamic, but it can only pertain to one type of data.
Right. Yeah, but if you create a, well, you can create a definition or a, what do I want to say, a class. You could create your own class that had multiple data types in its definition, but takes a lot more than just typing it out like that, right?
Definitely.
All right. When you watch the videos, I'm going to go ahead and give you this. When you watch some of the videos, there's an algorithm in there for sorting. And so I thought I'd give it to you. So I'm just going to save this one as sort. List. I guess is fine. You guys can put in sort list algorithm, whatever you want to save it as. Okay. And the videos I gave you will explain it, okay? More than I'm going to do here. But I'm going to give it to you. So let's create some sample numbers. In a list. It doesn't matter what they are. Put in 7, 4, 1, 3, 4, because I want to have at least one set of where two numbers are the same. Okay, and then I'm going to say print original list. Let's make sure that works. I'm going to put my main down here. Okay. And you can see it prints them out. So that's cool. Then we'll say selection sort. We're going to create a method and send it these numbers. Okay. And then we'll print 1, 2, and then sorted list. All right, and then we'll define selection sort. Pass in that sample numbers down to it to sort them. And then for passes in range, we want the length of the list -1. Why? Because it starts with 0. We'll just do that. And again, I'm not going to take your time to explain all this right now. You're better off watching the expert explain it. Passes there. So we're keeping track of the class. We're saving them as small index. And then I'm going to move something. Hang on. Let's do, like I said, I just want you to have this already typed while he explains it for you. +1 here, length. List again. If a list, check index, is less than. So what it's doing is it's picking a number out of the list in order and then checking it against all the other numbers. And if it's smaller, the number it finds than the one we're checking against, then it replaces it, is basically how it works. And that number moves to a different location. Let's say that, oops. And then the small index becomes the check index. And then our if passes goes way back out here. It's not equal to small index. Then number of passes. To a list, small index. And finally, a list small index becomes our temp. So it's like a swap here. All right. And if I type that right, I should be able to run it now. And there you go. So it does work. I'll leave it up there for a second so you guys can catch up. Again, my idea here was not to fully explain it. I think if you watch the video, he explains it better than I could sit here and trying to explain it. He spends about 15 minutes explaining the algorithm to do a sort. Now, again, in a list, what do we have though? What can we do with the, here, watch this. I think. See if that'll work. Done. Hang on. And then that work sample nums done. Oh, they've been changed, first of all. Why didn't that work? Let me look here. Here, I thought it was going to be cool. I thought I sorted before. No, of course I can't find it in my pile of tricks here. Oh, there it is. It says, I know it says sort here. Dot sort in ascending order. Okay. It's interesting, huh? Let's try, I know I'll try this. Let's do sample nums dot sort just like that. And then print sample. If I spelled it right, that might be an actual plus here. Yeah, see, right here it sorted it. Okay. So the big question is, do we really, I guess this would make it so you could understand it, but right here, and I think I misspelled it before, because I think I can just do this. I'm almost sure I can. No, won't let me do it that way. It's interesting. I thought for sure.
You have to
I did.
assign that to like a variable first and then print the variable.
Yeah, that's what it's making me do. That is what it's making me do. Now it's going to work, I would assume. Yep. So that works. But again, this goes along with video 2 and 3. So there's that one. And list intro. You got sort of list. Got that again. So then I got a new one here. All right, and we're going to call this one a number storing list. This is actually one of your homework assignments, okay? Let me just save that. So this one we'll actually put in this number. 11, oops. March 21. All right. So we'll define our main here. And again, I'm not chopping this up into methods. So just so you know. So we're going to create a list and we'll make some variables here. We'll say low is equal to, so it's going to be allowed to take doubles or floats. I'm just thinking here for a minute. I think this will be a, let's see. Well, why wouldn't I make this a float too? Okay. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and so this is going to be my inputs again. Inputs, process, outputs. So this will be my inputs. And so for index in range, and let's just get 10 numbers. Float. I think we're going to go ahead and change this to this. Number. Number, and then a this, then x here plus 1 plus of what did I put it as? Amount. Let's do this. Down to the next line. I think that's right. Enter the number. Yeah, that looks good. And then list. Okay, so that should be our inputs. And I should check it at that point, but I'm going to go forward here and do the rest of the process or the processing. It's not that big of a program. So that, say low is equal to the minimum of my number list. Is equal to the max of my numbered list. Do total is equal to the sum of my numbers list. And average, which is equal to total divided by my amount. And I think that's what I said I was going to get. So now I want to do my outputs. You guys can clean these up before you submit them. Add a banner, that kind of thing. Average. All we have left is to call the main function. pray we got it all in there, right? So, okay, number one, oh, I'm missing a space. And a 3.2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 7.9, 7.8, 4, 3. It's 1, highest is 7.9, that looks right. Total, blah, 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 9, 8. What is that? 1722, that's right. And a 2 there, and it looks like it's going to come out. So then there's 10 numbers at 3920 would be, the average is a 3.92. So all I can see right now that's wrong is we're missing a space in our output somewhere, right? Where was that at? Oh, right here. There we go, enter number 1. And you could, what you could do there is ask the user how many numbers they want to put in, right? Would be another way to enhance this program. But again, I think it's pretty cool that you can just do, you know, stuff like this. These different functions you get with a list. So there's that one. So that should help you out pretty well. Anybody need more of this one? I mean, that's pretty much the program. Again, I'd appreciate it if you clean it up a little bit. Maybe enhance it a little bit, make it yours. All right, let's make another one. Let's see what else I got for you. Okay. Let's do this. I need you to go over in Blackboard. So go to Blackboard and lesson 8. Okay. And you'll see in the lesson, in the assignments, at the top, there's boys' names, girls' names, and credit card accounts. You need to put the credit card accounts someplace that your program's going to be able to get to it. Okay? So copy it or whatever you need to do, move those charge account numbers to someplace you can get to them. So this is kind of a combination one from the file handling one we did. When was it, last week or the week before? So I'm just going to call this one charge accounts. Okay. Did you guys get them done?
Got my folder.
Yeah, I threw the text file in a folder.
There you go. All right, so we're going to define main here. And again, I don't like putting everything in the main, but this is, again, a pretty small program. We're going to have a local variable here, test account. Just initialize it to that. Since we're opening up a file, I need a try just to make sure that when we go to open it up, if it's not found, it doesn't crash, right? Again, this would be more useful if the user was able to put in what the file was in case there was multiple files. I mean, in real life, they probably have more than one. More than one record, okay? So notice this one is read line. So it's reading in all the lines that are available, okay? And then we're going to say for index range of the length of accounts. Now that we've read them all in, okay, accounts, oops, index, I'm going to strip off all the carriage returns at the end. Geez, you have to be able to type, Doug. Off, this is the carriage return at the end of the, or new line, whatever you want to call it. I guess we don't have carriage returns too much anymore. Okay, now we're going to use our test account to get the one from the user. And then if test account in accounts, no, I don't, wrong language. I wouldn't hurt anything, but it's going to put a space in there for it. that. It's better. Easier to read that way. All right, and then we need steps here, an IO error. This is the general one. That'll do it. Sure. Desktop, church accounts, okay. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay. All right, so now I need to go look at one of the account numbers. So I'm just gonna go get, here's a good one, 788-1200. So I'm gonna just copy that. 788-1200 should be a good one. So I'm gonna run it. Control V and say. So it says that one's valid. So then I'll try one that's not valid. Control V. And I'll put a 9 on the end of that or something. And that's not valid. So then again, so here you go. You could clean this up, enhance it a little bit. So again, not too hard, right? Not too hard. We created this big list. And then we searched the list. Excuse me. What's cool here is this iterated through just that one word, iterated through our whole list to see if it could find the input. We didn't have to put a for next loop in to see if the record exists. So again, pretty cool thing to have. Pretty cool. Okay, any questions on this one? All right. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. And that's pretty much my song and dance for tonight. Read the chapter on lists, watch the videos on list, try it yourself. I think I gave you a pretty good head start. The program that you're doing is a little bit longer, but it's nothing big. I want a nice menu, kind of like something we did last week or that, where it has a nice menu and then you impress what you want to do for that one. So put some time into that one. If you're gonna put your methods in another file, make sure you zip the all the files I need to run the program before you put them in your portfolio. Okay.